Hey there, how are you? I'm Alanda, and this is me, unscripted, unfiltered. So if you're looking for someone, that whole aesthetic thing. They're beautiful, young, long hair. Everything is absolutely perfect. That's not me. It will never be me. That's long since past. It never really was because, I was younger, but was everything perfect? No, it wasn't. So anyway, if you're looking for all that, there are plenty of creators that offer that fancy everything. They're all so fancy. I'm not fancy. I am just me. And yeah, I barely have on any makeup. I mean, I think I put on mascara and but I just can't. Okay. I absolutely just can't right now with this move looming and everything else. I just can't. Which back here, boxes, there's some of the boxes for the move. Now you see the naked lady ones. That's Mary Edwards. I think that's from some Pinot. I don't remember. My husband brought home. Then there's the Paradox, and there's Rumbauer. That's on the bottom. The Rumbauer, where my husband works, there used to be like pallets upon pallets upon pallets of Rumbauer. They're not anymore. So, but there are absolutely, at least one box. We have it. Anywho, so that's the move update. Yeah. So there's boxes. And I am wearing the same shirt. I think this is the fourth day in a row. Don't judge. Don't come at me. It's the move. It's the pandemic. It's everything. I just don't care right now because I'm stressed. Yeah, that's going on. So I'm going to tell you what happened today. I did a live stream over on my primary channel, which is the Recovering Hunbot. I do multi-level marketing over there, and I shared some scripts that Hunbots use, and it's just so janky and everything. So I was, a little bit rushed afterwards because I knew my dogs. If you hear any kind of weird little sounds, that's going to be the dogs, and flappy ears and all of that. So I wanted to take them out because my live stream lasted for about an hour or so, and I was like rushing to do that. So meanwhile, I'm trying to get my dogs together. And where I put my keys is and it's kind of falling apart. This thing is not making it to the move, and it really should not have been put up here. But somebody said they were fixing it when they just mashed it together, which really didn't fix it. But it's this little contraption that you can put on the wall. It has like little hooks on it, but it also has a place where I can tuck in the leashes. So I do that, and also the poopy bags. And so that's usually where I put my keys. So anyway, a friend calls me on WhatsApp, and it's a friend of mine that's been fighting against multi-level marketing for, I don't know, like 30 years, something like that. My friend David. And I want to talk to him, but it's like I'm trying to get the dogs. I'm trying to get my keys. I mean, it's like literally like everything is happening at one time. Okay. And all of a sudden I look up because I'm talking to him, I'm hooking up the dogs, doing all of that, and I can't find my keys. I'm like, where are my damn keys? Where in the hell are my keys? I had my keys. Where are my keys? Now, here's the deal. Our back door, you go out of it. Then on either side, there's gates. This gate over here, the only way that you can open it is with a key. The other one, you can open it like whatever that little twisty thing is, you could open it with that, but to get back in, you need a key. So for me to take them outside, guess what? I really kind of needed a key. So I'm freaking out going, where are they? I know my keys were just here. So I'm trying to talk to David on the phone, and I'm trying to remain somewhat calm. But meanwhile, my mind is going, brrr, like a bazillion miles an hour. I don't know if yours does that. Mine does that. I even go in the bathroom. I'm looking in there. I'm looking in the living room. I looked in the trash can. I mean, I am looking at no keys. Finally, I hang up with him, and I'm trying to be polite and all of that because I'm like, I'm just really freaking out mentally, which, by the way, here are my keys. Eventually, yes, they were found, but let me tell you how they were found. And then I'm going to rant about the fact that I lose my keys all the time. But my husband is so sweet. My husband's at work, okay? So he's working on the wine stuff at work at the restaurant. And I hang up with my friend David, and I text my husband. Oh, my phone's not in here. And I'm like, I can't find my keys. And he calls me. My phone's usually on silent. That's just how if I happen to see it ringing and it's like I recognize something, then I'll answer it. But usually text me because I'm just not going to respond, because usually you get so many janky calls. I mean, from all these people, just weird stuff. And it's like, if I don't recognize the number, I'm not picking it up. I don't know who does that anymore. Why would you answer the phone if you don't know who it is? I mean, I just don't. And usually I'll just like send the message like, I'm busy, send me a text or some bullshit like that. I can't be bothered. So anyway, I missed my husband's call. So I call him back, and thankfully, he answered. He wasn't too busy. And he was trying to find out when was the last time I had the keys, which I had taken the dogs out before I did my live, but I didn't remember when or anything, but I'm freaking out. Oh, and meanwhile, also a friend of mine who I've known for a very long time, he had emailed me on an email account that I don't really use very often. So I gave him what my, email account to use. And also I gave him my phone number, even though he's had it for years. Now he has a new phone doesn't have it. And I let him know, hey, getting ready to go live. So what does he do? He calls. And it's like, it's like, so all of these different things have been going on. So I was just feeling very, very anxious about all of it. So my husband decides the best thing to do is to come home and help me out. Now, fortunately, where he works, it's not that far away. I mean, it's like maybe 2 minutes away, if that's, it's like really flipping close. And so now he's trying to ask me where I was, and here in my office, and then over there, that's the kitchen. So those were really the only two places that I was at. Okay. That's it. But I can't find the keys. And plus we're trying to move. So stuff is more topsy-turvy than it is usual. So I am running around. I looked in the trash can. I'm surprised I didn't look in the freezer because I've left a checkbook in the freezer. That's another story for another day. But I'm literally running around like a crazy woman going, where are my keys? Because I can't take the dogs out unless I have the keys. While there was a brick, I propped it open and we did a quick pee and all of that. But, I couldn't take them really out because I don't have the keys. And there's also been a neighbor who has been propping one of the gates open, which we don't like that because, I'm here alone so often. It's like, why would you just leave the gate randomly open like that? At all different times. And so I didn't want to come back and then somebody closed the gate and I have no way of getting inside. You know what I mean? So the whole situation is just really annoying. So my husband is trying to find out like where I had been, when was the last time I had my keys, yada, yada, yada. So we're standing in the kitchen by the counter and there's these two bar stools there. On the wall, there's this other contraption that you put on the wall. It has a little chalkboard, but that chalkboard's really kind of crappy. I don't know if it's the chalk. I don't know if it's the board itself, but when you write on it, you can't really see a lot. But I use that as a list. That's the shopping list that I just write down, what is needed. And sometimes if I really want something, because let's just say I put cheese on there and my husband hasn't gone to the store yet because he's the one that goes to the store because I'm high risk and all of that. And besides, he goes at like these off times when I don't go. I don't really like going to the store. I used to. That's a whole different story. There's so many stories. But anyway, so I'm talking to him and I look over there. Now, I do have this big old cluster of keys that's not really keys, but it's like, I don't know, mismatched stuff over there. It's hanging up. And then what do? These were next to them. So they were there the entire time. But I couldn't find them. Looking everywhere like a crazy person, okay? Now, this is not the only time this has happened. Oh, my sunglasses are now broken. Now, what I do is I go to Walgreens and I just find something that will work. And what I have done oftentimes, because sometimes they'll crack and break, you can pop in the lens, and it's like I will go around with that for like forever because I'm cheap. I don't want to have to spend money on glasses if I can just kind of like make it work. It's like that's stupid. I used to be into like buying expensive sunglasses, but honestly, why? Buy expensive sunglasses, especially if you're someone like me and you might lay them down somewhere and then you're out however much that, it's just not worth it. So I just get whatever cheap sunglasses and I'm fine with that. But now, #COVID, I don't have any sunglasses and my eyes start watering if I go outside. I don't know. It's because I have worn sunglasses for so many years. I can't stand going out there with the bright sun. So now I'm going to have to figure out I need sunglasses. Maybe I can order some on Amazon. Do you think I can order some on Amazon? I don't know. I can look on there because, that would be great because that way I don't have to go anywhere. Okay. So now I've got my keys. But like I said, this happens with so many things with me. My glasses, like these glasses, sunglasses, my keys, my phone. Oh, good gravy. Okay, now let me tell you another story about me and my keys, okay? And I don't know if this has ever happened to anyone. So once upon a time, I lived in this high rise downtown, the Rice. This is where John F. Kennedy stayed the night before he was assassinated. It was abandoned for many, many years, and then they remodeled it and refurbished everything in the 90s. When I lived there, it was a great place until people from California bought it, and then they started remodeling it, and they just destroyed the historical integrity. The cute little gargoyles that we had right at every apartment door, they took that down. They were trying to make everything super fancy. Meanwhile, they're building all these elaborate places all over the place, embrace the historic nature of it. And now it just looks like a Drury Inn. If you go into the lobby, Drury Inn, it's just, it's so generic. Before, it was so elegant. I do have a really cool picture that I post sometimes at around Christmas. That was a Christmas tree, and you could see like period pieces, like, in the lobby. They weren't probably from the period, but, they were, replicas or whatever, they were made to look like from the period. Anyway, it was just gorgeous, but now it's just so generic. So anyway, connected to the Rice because the Rice is between, let's see, Maine and Travis along Texas. On the Main Street side, there's this little pub there. That's actually where I met my husband, and that's where I was when I went to my friend Andy's funeral. If you watch me over in the Recovering Hunbot, you know about my friend Andy, who took his own life during this whole COVID thing. So it was big, huge mess, and it's, I don't even think I've recovered from that. So anyway, I would go hang out there. So one time, you get in the elevator, what happened to me? I had my keys. Somehow they just dropped from my hand and they fell. I mean, like in that little bitty crack, that's at the elevator, little bitty tiny, tiny, tiny crack, fell right down there, right down. Boom, gone. Thank goodness the people, this was before it was taken over by the people from California. Nothing wrong with people from California, but when you don't know the history of a building, or you don't know what's so great, we had a real community, and they just totally ruined all that. So anyway, I went to the front desk, and I can't remember who was working, because we had concierges. I don't remember who was there, but I let them know what happened. And so we went down there, and boom, we're able to find them. Well, it gets even better. So when we would take out our garbage, we had these garbage chutes. One time, the keys slid down the garbage chute. I mean, who has ever done that besides me? I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody in this world, but boom, there they were. So I went downstairs, and I'm freaking out, going, oh, my keys, blah, blah, blah. They were sitting right there. I mean, I was able to get them, but thank goodness I went just then, because could you imagine if I had waited, how much garbage might have piled up on there? Oh my God. And my phone, that's something else, like I said, that I misplaced. Back then, when I was living in the Rice, I loved my phone case. It was leopard print. I love leopard print. Love, love, love leopard print. The couch at the time was a very, very dark, dark brown. The floors were this stained concrete that were kind of this terracotta, but very, very dark. So to try to find a leopard print, phone case, it was next to impossible. So I used to post on Facebook for somebody to call me. This was before I started having my phone on silent all the time, to call me when I couldn't find my phone. That's what I would do. But I am forever misplacing my keys. And thank goodness my husband, typically, he can find the stuff that I, misplace. I don't know what I'd do without him. I really honestly don't. Do you ever misplace your stuff and all of a sudden they're in a weird place? I mean, really, I looked in the garbage can, because I thought, could I have done that? Could I have dropped them in the garbage? I mean, was I just not thinking? I don't know. Anyway, there's my rant about that. I think there's a lot of rants coming, because I feel just so tense, and there's so much energy, and not a good way, with this whole move thing. And so many things are coming to my mind of I'm just stressed. So be prepared. There'll be another one. I'm going to have a rant as soon as I figure out what's going on with the whole internet thing. There's going to be a rant about that, because there just needs to be. Anyway, you're beautiful, and I love you. See you next time.